one day and never wake up? What would it be like to cut my wrists with a kitchen knife and bleed to death? Joanne mused aloud. Hold it right there, Joanne. What the hell are you thinking? Just because you're divorced and you don't have a job, that doesn't mean it's the end of your life. You have an infant daughter to support. So please stop thinking like that, said the immaculate woman sitting opposite her, who was her psychiatrist. She further said, Joanne, why don't you go wait outside in the patient's waiting area while I prepare your assessment? And Joanne exited her office. A while later, when Joanne was summoned back in, psychiatrist told her, Joanne, after carefully hearing you out, I have diagnosed you with clinical depression. In spite of your failed marriage and your poor economic status, please stop having suicidal thoughts. There is a wealth of talent in you. Why don't you bring it out, cultivate it, develop it, and then see the results? Thus, Joanne left the psychiatrist's office. As she was on her way back home, she pondered, yeah, what the psychiatrist said is right. I do have a talent, and my passion and talent is writing. Now, Joanne loved writing. She loved writing about fairies and fantastic beasts and a different world. But then Joanne thought, what do I write about? I have no motive. Have patience and never give up, her inner conscience told her. So one fateful day, in September 1990, as Joanne was standing at the Manchester station, waiting for her train to arrive, a public announcement changed her life. Train to London is now delayed by 4 hours, the speaker blared. Oh no, thought Joanne. What am I supposed to do for 4 hours now? And what if I miss my appointment with the government aid office? She was so worried. She spotted a bench nearby and perched herself and shut her eyes. And then it formed. The idea that changed her life. There was no going back now. She knew what she was going to write about. After returning from London, Joanne worked night and day. She worked overtime to earn just enough money to buy herself a small manual typewriter and began working. It took 5 years and several hardships for Joanne to finish the manuscript of her very first book. But not once did she give up. Not once did she ever wanted to give up. 5 years later, Joanne entered Bloomsbury's office. Bloomsbury was a small-time publisher in central London. I have a meeting with the editor, Mr. Barry Cunningham, she chimed to the receptionist, who directed her to his office. Hello, Joanne, he boomed. I have been expecting you. I am very sorry to tell you that after going through your manuscript, we regret to inform you that we cannot publish your book. There is no money in children's books anyways, so I think that you should get a day job instead. You are so young and beautiful and talented. You can earn your living doing anything that you want. Joanne was upset. She was aghast. Please, she begged. I have already received 12 rejections and I am so poor. I cannot afford it. I struggle to make ends meet and I have an infant daughter to support. The editor was moved. All right then, he reconsidered. We shall rethink about your manuscript and get back to you soon. Joanne was a bit happy, and she left the editor's office. She hoped that he would give her a positive response. A few days later, Joanne received a call. It was Mr. Barry Cunningham. He said, "Joanne!" He jabbered excitedly. "My 8-year-old daughter is in love with your book and we would love to publish it. However, there is one condition." "Anything," murmured Joanne. She was so relieved. "We would have to change your name because I think that a book published by a woman would not appeal to young men." Joanne thought for a moment. J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. It sounded wonderful. So, my friends, that is the rags to riches story of someone who we all know and needs no introduction, J.K. Rowling. She never gave up, and today she is the best-selling author, and she is the 12th richest woman of England. She is worth £560 million. Isn't that a lot of money? What would have happened if she gave up? Would we still have our Harry Potter? Would we still have such a wonderful childhood? No. So the point that I am trying to prove over here is that each one of us, every one of you sitting in this room today, has a talent, something that you are better than everybody else at, be it singing, dancing, cooking, taekwondo, public speaking. Why not develop it and cultivate it? Maybe, who knows, one day one of you two could make a mark on the world and change its history. We should develop our talent because in the darkest of times, it is all we can turn to. Maybe it will end up being our light at the end of our dark tunnel. So never give up.